Hello, I'm J.I. Moore. Welcome to the channel. Today I'll be showing you how to set up LibreOffice for typesetting books. This is something I've been recently trying to get a grasp of. I've been having a lot of issues with Microsoft Word the past year, specifically with columns and page formatting and page numbering, headers, footers, a lot of glitches. So I've looked into some alternatives, and this seems to be a very stable alternative. If you're moving from Microsoft Word also, one thing that I've noticed from kind of toying around with this is you have to use styles a lot more frequently within LibreOffice to do the more minute things like specific line spacing. So today what I'm going to be showing is how to set a default font, how to set up text styles, how to set up page styles, and how to save a template. I'm kind of going off some very sparse notes here, so I'm going to try and do my best to keep it concise for you. This is just what I figured out so far. So to get into it, I'm going to close my OBS that's actually still open. And you see I'm in the menu here. How you get to this is the first part. How to set up a default font. Go to Tools, Options. So this is actually not going to be open. You have to click LibreOffice Writer, click that plus, go down to Basic Fonts, Western, and from here you just select your default font size, so for headings, lists, captions, all that stuff. I prefer Cambria when I type stuff, so I've just set Cambria as my default. It's already my default, so I can just click cancel and exit out of here. That's how you set a default font. So to get into font styles, which is the first thing I actually want to cover after this, I am going to go to default. So if this isn't open actually, get the styles menu, click styles, go down here, manage, there you are. So this is the default. This is what everything else comes off of. So when you tweak this up here that is currently highlighted, it'll actually affect all the fonts underneath it. So what you want to do for book typesetting most of the time is actually justify the alignment. So what you do is you right click on this, you click edit, you go over here to font, you make sure it's what you want, it is what I want, you go to alignment, you click justified. Justified is a square text block. You go over to indents and spacing. Now I like my spacing to be a bit more, so you go to line spacing right here, click, I believe it's proportional, yes, that's it, and I select 120. And what that does, having good line spacing, makes the text far more legible. And the next part that you actually want to do is, so this is when you click enter after a paragraph. Microsoft Word, oftentimes from when I've used it in the past, the default is 0.08. So that's just what I set it to because that's the, well, I selected the wrong one there. Back down to 0. Go to below paragraph. Go to 0.08 and it's set up for you right there, the spacing. And you can just click apply, OK, and your default paragraph style is set up. Next, you want to go to text body style. This is actually, or body text. This is what you'll actually be using when you type up like paragraphs within the book. You don't want to be using the default paragraph style as that can lead to some issues. So you actually want to use body text. And I'm going to right click edit style. And what you want to do to save space in your books oftentimes is turn on hyphenation. Now I need to find, I believe it's in text flow automatically. So you just click there and the default setting should generally be good. And oftentimes books are indented. So the indentation that I like to use is 0.2, and I like to use first line indentation. I'm just going to highlight this, click 0.2. Line spacing I need to fix. proportional, 120. And the spacing below the paragraph, that's a bit larger than I like. I just like the 0.08. And that is our text body. Okay. And the next thing you actually want to set up is if you like to do drop caps, think the large letters at the beginning of a section. Your first paragraph is a very large letter. You'll see this in things like Bibles, prayer books. Thomas Nelson uses them throughout their Bibles. If you have the Ignatius Press Bible, I think it uses it. The St. Gregory Prayer Book from the Ordinary Chair of St. Peter uses it. So drop caps are very common in liturgical texts, which is what I often like to use. It's also a very classic book style. So for body text, you want to be back in here. And what this does is actually it automates it so that after you type out your sections, you just want to highlight your first paragraph and you'll double click on the style that we're about to create. So this one that we just made, what you do is you right click, you click new, and you want to name this drop cap body text. That's just kind of like a good idea as a general rule to do. And for the next style, what you want to select is actually body text, wherever that is on this giant list. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. There. So let's make sure that your next paragraph, in case you start off a section with this, just goes back to the default. And what you want to go to next is indents and spacing. You want to remove the first line indent because your drop cap will take up that space. So the next part you want to go to is go over to this menu, click drop caps. You click display drop caps. And the style I often like to do, you can see on this right side how it shows you how much space the letter takes up, is 2 lines and 1 character. And you want to go to character style and select drop caps. I'll show you how to set that up in a minute. And now you can click OK. Next, you'll go up to the styles menu. This bar at the top has paragraph styles, character styles, frame styles, page styles, list styles, table styles, fill format mode, style actions, and more caret menu for style actions. So what you actually want to go to is character styles, and you'll see drop caps down here. Now by default, it will use the font that you have set as your default, so Cambria in my case. And what I prefer to do for drop caps is have a fancier font, one that I've downloaded from the internet. I'll try to remember to put a link down below. It's a free licensed font for Zalman caps is what I like to use. So you right click this, you click edit, you go to font, scroll all the way down, click Zalman caps, and the point size doesn't really matter for this in this case. And I believe that's it. So now you can just click OK. See right there, drop caps now shows the font that you selected for it. The next thing you want to do is go to your headers and text styles. I don't typically use beyond header 4, I don't believe. What I'm going to do is click edit, alignment. I like to have my headers centered, indents and spacing. It uses up quite a bit above. I don't really like the way that it does that. I like to just go down to 0.02 for my headers and 0.08 for below paragraph, which is what I use for the normal text. And now you click OK. So now what you can do is you go through appendix, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. Make sure it has your settings in place. So you do that by right-clicking, click Edit Style, and it has the next style set to body text, so that's good. So that means once you get out of your header, it'll go back to your default like text block. So see here, set to center, which I wanted it to be. Indent and spacing. See, it actually doesn't have it quite right. I want to change that to 0.02. 0.02. And for the first heading, I often like to use small caps. So I believe you'd go to font effects. Case. Small capitals. And see there, it changes it to it. So that's what my heading 1 default will be. Click OK. And for my others, I just do normal capitals. So you right click here, edit style, indents and spacing, 0.02. Okay. Heading 3, edit style, indents and spacing, 0.02. Headings, edit style, indent and spacing, and 0.02. So I like to have fairly consistent spacing on my headings. If you like to do something else, you can do something else. And the nice thing is you only have to set this up once, because you actually save this as a template once you're done. So that's the important thing to remember going forward, is you won't have to set this up again. I'm gonna look at my notes real quick, see what else I have. So that looks like that should be the end of text styles. There's a few more things like endnotes, footnotes, comments, captions that you can do. This is just to like get you up and running, kind of show you how styles work. And this is generally what the parts that I use most frequently. So actually what I'm going to do is save this as a template. So what you do want to do is you want to go to File, Template, Save as Template. And you want to save this to, in my case, I want to save it to My Templates, and click Save. And if you want to open a template next time, you go to Manage Templates, Liturgical Typesetting 1, and now when you open it, it has your headings all set up, it has everything else set up. So in this next part of the video, what I'll actually be showing is specifically what applies to book formatting. And after this is set up, I'll try to show you from a quick copy paste from a prayer book on Project Gutenberg to demonstrate how easy it is to use these styles. So what you want to do is go up here to the styles menu, paragraph styles, character styles, frame styles, page styles, list styles, and so on. And what we're going to go to is page styles. We're going to be setting up the default page styles you want to have for book formatting. And as with the paragraph styles, how it had default paragraph style, page styles has a default page style. So that's this one right here that's highlighted. What you want to do is you want to right click on it. You want to click Edit Style. You're going to go into Page, and I'm setting up for the settings that I typically use. If you use a print-on-demand service, you want to reference the margins that you use, the page size that you use, and I typically just use half sheet size because then I can reference them on a home printer. So I'm going to do 5.5 width, 8.5 height, And I'm going to set the page layout to be mirrored margins. For the inner margin, I'm going to make it 0.59, and for everything else, I'm going to make it 0.49. I'm going to click apply and OK. And from this default page one, we're going to make a beginner and filler page style. And what I mean by that is basically all the pages leading up to your actual main content. So you can put stuff like your table of contents, your preface, your title pages, that sort of stuff on here. And we'll be selecting from the default page style to make this new page. Right click. You want to click new style. So I'm going to title this beginning and filler page. Next style, you want to have it flow into this. You want to go over to page and do your height and width 8.5 by 5.5. And you want to make this, let me check, mirrored. Do mirrored margins, and you'll do the same thing again where you have 0.49, 0.59 for the inner margin. That's the direction the spine is on, and everything else will be 0.49. So I'm gonna do that, double check my notes, and that should be it. So what we're going to do after this is actually go into our next page that's going to be custom, our first page for a section. So the easiest way to actually get a book to be set up is to have new sections always be on the right page. And that's for the reason that you don't want a header typically on, well, sometimes people have headers on new chapters, but the style that I typically use is you just have your chapter title, no header above, no page number, and then it resumes. So that's what we're going to be doing. It will be this left and right page down here at the bottom that we will actually be modifying and putting headers on. So for the first page of a new section, we're going to again right click on default page style, click new, and title it first page for section. The next style, we actually want it to be the left page. So that means that by default, the page that'll always come after this one will be the left page style. Going to go into page, fix our width and height, and we're going to make this right page only. So only right. And so your gutter will actually have something in it this time. We're going to do 0.49 margins all around. And the gutter is going to be 0.1. And I'm going to double check that I had it flowing right. So we're going to click apply, go to general, and I have it going to the left page. So the ones that we've set up so far are the default page style, the beginning and filler page style, and the first page for section. The next one you want to set up is either the right page style or the left page style. I will be doing the right page style first. So we're actually going to right click and click edit this time instead of new, because we're just going to be using this one. Our width and our height is correct, however our margin is off. You'll want to set it up to have 0.49 margins and a 0.1 gutter. And I'm going to reference this. Page layout, right page only, that's enabled by default. And so what we're actually going to do is click apply before we switch menus. And this one will actually have a header. So we're going to turn header on. We're going to change the spacing to 0.14. We're going to turn off auto fit height. We're going to set our height to 0.16. Going to click apply and OK. Now the left page we're going to set up and see how it automatically flows into the right page. So we're going to go to page, double check it. The only thing we need to change here is the margins. We're going to set up 0.49 for all of them again. And the gutter is going to be 0.1. Hit apply. Go to the next menu. We're going to enable headers. We're going to set our spacing to 0.14, our height to 0.16, and we're going to unclick auto fit height. Hit apply and OK. And that is our page styles. And this next part is actually how we're going to start getting it set up as a final template, pretty much, for book editing and typesetting. So we're actually going to go up here, this top menu, select View, Page Layout. We're on a single page. They have a multiple page, so however big your zoom area is how many pages you can fit. Or you have Book View. And the interesting part about Book View is it lays the pages out as you kind of need to see them to see how your margins line up and everything for when you do a print on demand or if you plan to bind it. And books always begin on the right page because that's the first one. And so it moved that off to the right, and you'll actually have everything will be 2 pages down below, showing like an open spread of what a book looks like. So we've changed it to book view. And depending on if you change your view later on, you might have to switch that back, but that's a pretty easy one. The view tab, I don't believe, is a part of the template. So what we're going to do is we're going to create several page breaks so that we can have our page style set up. I'm going to create 5 pages. You can create a page break by clicking Control or Enter. I mean Control and Enter. Or I believe up here, format. I'm looking for. I always use the keyboard shortcut. Oh, so it's in Insert, Page Break, and you can do specialized page breaks down here. But the one that I typically do is just Control and Enter. 1, 2, 3, and I wanted 5 pages. So there's 5. And what you're going to do on this first page is you can see these page breaks actually show up. You can right click them and you can check my notes, beginning and filler page. We're going to right click this first one right here. And so these first 2 are going to be the filler pages. So we're going to click on this one right here. You're going to get that little caret menu, and you want to click Edit Page Break. So you want to click with page style and change it to first page for section. And you're going to click OK. And now when we click on these pages, you'll see these 2 are default. However, this first one is first page for section. What we're going to do here is go back up here and double click beginner and filler page to make sure it's not just set to the default. So now as we click on the pages, look at your styles menu there, they're actually changing. And because we set it up to flow, this will be a left page, this will be a right page, and so on. And so when you need to start a new chapter, what you'll do is you'll just do a page break. If it's on a left page, that'll give you a new right page. And you select that page break by right-clicking on it. And within that menu, you click here and you go there, and then you can select first page for section. So that's how you set it up. But for now, we can move on, and I'll actually show you how to get your headers to have the titles of your chapters and your subsections and your page numbers. So we want to actually be on the left and right page, which are these down here. You're going to click on your header, and you're going to insert a table. We'll go up here, insert table. So I'll name this left table. You want to give it 3 columns, and you want to give it a single row. And this will allow us to have a different column for each field that we're going to insert for page number and title. And making it 3 just makes it easier to get the other one for the page title to be centered. Insert. So my contrast is a bit off, so this will be a bit hard for me to see. Okay, there. Now I can see the table. Because it doesn't have any borders, and you don't want it to have borders, because otherwise it would look kind of funky. Except for on the bottom. I'll show you how to do that to get a nice underline to divide it from the rest of the content on the book. So we're going to highlight it. We're going to right click on it. Table properties. And it brings us automatically to this border thing on my LibreOffice at least. And you want to go down to double thin. You click right here. It'll give you a line there and a line there. You actually just want a bottom line. And so by doing that, it's going to give us a nice divider. Let's double check a few things. Table. You don't want it to show up as having anything below. And just click OK. And what we can also do, because I forgot to do it, is go into columns and change your left and your right column to 0.3. This can be a little finicky if you want it to automatically do it, but there we have it. And so now your columns are divided so that you have a big space in the middle for your section titles. And let me check. What we can do now is we can go up here, set the font size for it to 10.5 because we don't want it to be the same size as the main body text. This outer column we want to set to be left aligned. The center column we want to be centered. And this right column we want to be right aligned. Check my notes. Column, underline. Ah, yes. After this, we're going to desynchronize the padding. So remove the padding from the bottom. We should be good to move on to inserting fields. Click OK. We can double check actually to make sure it doesn't have any spacing underneath by going to paragraph, text, indent and spacing, and you actually don't want any space below this. So we're going to click this, set it to 0, and OK. And what that will do, if I undo it and redo it real quick, you can see how the line actually moves. You actually want it to be higher. So the neat thing, because we have this all set up on this page, copy, and paste it into our other header. And we can rename this table by right-clicking, table properties, table, and naming it right table. Click OK. So what we'll do now is actually we'll insert fields. This is where you get your page number and your content headers. So for page numbers, you click Insert, Field, Page Number. It's pretty easy. For content headers, what you actually want to do is go Insert, Field, More Fields, and you go it automatically has header here, and you want your level. So if you use header 1, header 2, header 3, header 4, in this case, I want header 1 to be on the left pages, so that's the chapter names, and header 2 to be on the right pages, that's the subsection names. And header contents will give you the title for the header. Header number will give you which header it is, and so I just want the contents. So insert, close. And since we don't have anything in the book, it won't actually show anything there. But when I demonstrate this template later on, you'll see how it auto inserts it. So on this right page, we can do insert, field, more fields, header number, 2, insert, close. And right here, we can go insert, field, page number. And you'll notice our page numbers are actually wrong because this one right here on the right side is our first page. And I'll show you how to fix that in a second. So now that our headers have been automatically set up to show our page numbers, our titles, etc., I'm actually going to show you a few tweaks that you need to do, and then you can finally save the template. So what I'm going to do now is go here, this first page. So this is our first page for section. So if you have a book where you need each section to have new page numbering, you can do this, or generally speaking, you would only have to do this to the first page of the book. Click Format after clicking on your first page in the section. Go to Paragraph, and you want to go to Text Flow, select Page Number, and it'll reset it to 1. So click OK. So now this doesn't have a page number displaying, because it's going to be our first page for each chapter. But right here, you'll see 2, 3. So it'll just keep on going on in order. And we should be done. So what you can do here is save this as a template by going to File, Templates, Save as Template. I'll be saving it to My Templates, and I'll save it as Liturgical Book Template for Video. And I'll click Save. And now what we can do is we can open a new file. So new, text document. Our view is still set to book view, but that's okay. We're going to go to Templates, Manage Templates, and I'm going to look for the title, Liturgical Book Template for Video. So now our template is auto set up. Should have all of our text styles, all of our page styles, and I'll do a quick thing demonstrating how easy it is to set up the text. So I'll open my browser. Here on Project Gutenberg, I have a mass prayer book set up. This is the type of stuff that I typically edit. However, I don't typically get to just copy and paste it, so this is kind of nice. A lot of the stuff I have to manually type up. So this is for the mass. It's going to unfortunately copy over these page numbers, but that's okay. So I'm going to go here, text styles. I want to find the title, and I'll name this, double click it with your left mouse, Mass Book Example. I'll go to my first page of the section, and I'll paste it. So now this is where text styles come in handy. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see that a bit better. It's a bit too much there. Now we go. So I can click right here, heading 1. This is the title of our new chapter. I'm going to go to body text, demonstrate there. I'll have it indented. Or I can do our default one that has a first line indent. Or you can even do drop caps. I like to do drop caps here. I'll do this to body text. And I'll center align it since I typically like to do that for the Our Father in these, as well as italicize. I'm not going to bother inserting the actual symbol for the sign of the cross since this is just a preview. This did not paste very well, but I can highlight here. You go over to, whoa, wrong one. Styles, manage styles, and I'm going to select header 2. I'm going to change this text body indented. I'm going to center it since this was a description for a meditation, and I'm going to italicize it. Move the page number. Change this to a drop cap. I'm having some issues scrolling on my mouse for some reason. And after this, I'll do a quick pause just to kind of finish getting this set up. Resuming where we left off, I finished typesetting that book real quick just by clicking the styles like I demonstrated. So we have several pages. We have a left and a right page. We have the intro page, etc. I already showed you the title page. And what's really cool that you can actually see here is header 1 is on the left page, header 2 is on the right page, and our page numbers auto number. And to put the final touch on it, to insert your table of contents, you just want to click over on this page. And since with the way we set it up, it will auto add pages to the table of contents. What you may have to do, since the first page for this section is supposed to be a right page, is insert a page break to insert a blank page if the table of contents ends on a right page. So you're going to click Insert, Table of Contents and Index, Table of Contents or Index. You can change your table of contents title. We'll keep it Table of Contents. Click OK. And since we fixed our page numbering earlier, you'll see it starts on page 1 because this is page 1 that we assigned. So because this is a document, you can actually click Control, click on it, and it'll take you there. And that is how you set up a book template in LibreOffice. And I hope this was helpful. I hope it gives some people kind of a head start. This was some stuff that took me some time to figure out going from Microsoft Word over to LibreOffice. God bless. Bye.